Hola, mijos. I have another story. This one is called The Quails and the Hunter. This is the picture for it. And Selma says hi. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Everybody say hi. Okay, let's get the story. Relax. Be very still and listen. Listen carefully to this tale about a flock of quails who lived happily in the leafy hedgerows and woods. That is, until one day when a hunter came along. Let's find out what happens. Now, the hunter, he was a clever man. He made his living from catching quails. He would hide behind a hedgerow and imitate the quail's call, and they would answer him. When a good number of birds had gathered together nearby, he would throw a net over them to catch them. Then he would take them home to his wife to cook and sell the rest at market for a good price. The quails were led by a wise old bird called Tut-Tut, who decided that something had to be done about the hunter. He realized that to protect his flock, he would have to outsmart the hunter, so he devised a plan. One morning he called the quails together. Every day the hunter lures more of us into his trap. Soon, none of us will be left. We must do something to protect ourselves. I have a plan. If we work together, we can escape him and his wicked net. The next time the hunter catches any of us, we must all fly up together from the ground when I give the call. That way we'll be able to lift the net and get away. But for this plan to work, we must all cooperate. Everyone agreed that this was a great plan. That very afternoon, the hunter returned, hid by the hedgerow, and imitated the quail's call. Once again, the birds fell for his trick, and he threw his net over them as always. But this time they knew what to do. As soon as they heard Tut-Tut's signal, they all flapped their wings as hard as they could until they rose up into the air. The plan had worked. Their combined strength had lifted the net, which they then dropped into a large prickly thorn bush. The hunter didn't catch one quail that day. Each time he tried to capture the birds, they escaped, and he ended up spending hours getting scratched and prickled while retrieving his net. When finally he gave up and went home, his wife was furious to see him arrive empty-handed. "Where are the quails for our dinner?" she snapped. "Those birds outwitted me today." "They work together as a team," he replied angrily. "But they won't cooperate with each other for long. They're quarrelsome creatures, and they'll soon fall out. Then they won't be able to lift my net anymore. That's when I'll catch them." Sure enough, one day soon, when the quails were singing in the hedgerow, one of them accidentally sat on his neighbor's head, and a big squabble broke out. Tut-Tut begged them to resolve their dispute, but they wouldn't listen. Suddenly he saw the Tut-Tut ready to pounce. Tut-Tut realized if the birds couldn't work together, then they would have to escape before the hunter cast his net. He told the flock to fly at once. Most of them rose immediately, but the quarrelsome quails were left behind and were promptly caught. Tut-Tut's flock continued to work as a team, outwitting the hunter so often that eventually he gave up trying to catch them. The moral of today's story is, it can be tempting to go our own way rather than work together with others. A wise person knows that they can achieve much more as part of a team than on their own. And that is tonight's story. I love you, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Love you. Bye.